Go, Cowboy. I mean, Jimbo, I'm Cowboy.
Okay. Look at the hooves, sir.
Oh, hell,
Look at the hooves, not at me.
Where'd you go, Jimbo?
Oh, hell, Cowboy, you dead too?
Actually, no. But this is your purgatory, and I'm part of your unfinished business. So, where'd you go?
Ain't that obvious? The last chance bar.
Death hasn't improved you.
What you been up to, old fella?
Eating, hanging out in the shade, looking for treats. Folks got me now are good for treats. I raced for a while. Won every race I ran. I liked that.
You would.
And then, well, I ran away with a few assorted riders. That was fun, but I don't think it did me any favors. Not really. Don't get to go much now. No one will get on.
You're looking good. You don't look old at all.
The people out that there are good to me. I'm a horse with a lot of history. Lots of people know cowboy stories.
They know Jimbo stories, I'd say, and you're the transportation.
Well, you're in some of them, but they say I was the brains of the operation.
Faster than a Kentucky thoroughbred.
For a quarter of a mile, it is what I'm supposed to be.
More powerful than a Clydesdale.
Jimbo.
Able to leap tall fences in a single bound.
Jimbo, it was done.
You look good in costume.
Horses do not dress up.
It was Halloween. There was a party.
I'd have preferred to stay outside.
We were invited.
It was on the second floor.
So, you could climb stairs good.
I couldn't get down so easy. I had splinters in my butt for weeks.
And you cut quite a figure with that big old cape, those red underpants, the big red S on your chest.
You were drunk.
Super horse!
They threw us out.
Law came, said I had to get the horse out of the building. I went off about Paul Revere, and if it wasn't for horses, we wouldn't even have a country. And that deputy must be a communist. It was fun. Turned the heads of a whole herd of women. They kept me busy for months. You got the best costume award. We were famous.
You are insufferable.
We were inseparable.
Until we separated, you haven't changed a lick.
It was a great idea.
It was not. You were just the one with the opposing thumbs. Next life, I want opposing thumbs.
I thought of a place where you could scratch.
Okay.
You remember a night when you were so drunk, you tried to sleep in a gravel parking lot? You couldn't even climb the saddle. Two of your friends worked it out, so one would take you home and the other would ride me. You passed out right when they put you in the car, and then came to. Looked out the window, saw that guy riding me, and started yelling,
Horse thief! Horse thief!
I remember something a little different. I remember something like, get off that horse. I love that horse. Of course, you were really drunk, so maybe I wasn't hearing right.
I was yelling horse thief.
I'm sure you were. You jumped out of that moving car, rolled and came running across that field.
I couldn't see who had you, and I didn't want to lose you.
You ran so hard your pants fell down. You were drunk as a coot. Though, I've never really seen a real coot drunk. Trying to outrun a horse. Twigs and mud and weeds sticking out all over you. Pants around your ankles. Now that was a show. If you'd have listened that night, you'd have heard a horse laughing. Ah! Why'd you leave, Jimbo?
That just ain't a question a horse gets to ask.
You disappeared. You left me with whatever grass grew in that little yard and a bowl to catch rainwater.
I provided.
We get no rain for a week. I'm dog food.
Well, it did rain, didn't it?
Where'd you go?
Look, it ain't like you're a woman or a young'un I deserted, or something like that, something I'd have to answer for.
Did you do that too?
That ain't your business.
Jimbo, get the picture here. The report's not good. Best I can see, the only thing you ever stood by was a bar.
Yeah, that's
That's
that one.
Okay, so best I can see, the only thing you ever stood by was a bar.
I stood by you.
Until you left, I stood by you. Literally, sometimes. You were so drunk, you fell off my back and slept in a ditch for the night. Me with that wretched saddle on my back. Opposing thumbs again. I think a lot about opposing thumbs.
We had fun, Cowboy.
Did we?
Wait. How'd you know I was here?
Because we had a connection. That doesn't go away.
You've not suffered any for me being gone.
No, I haven't. Horses aren't big on angst. Existentialism never was my cup of tea. Don't like tea.
So why are you here?
Because somebody's got to ask you the big question, Sugar Lump. Because maybe you're not smart enough to ask yourself. After all, why do you think you're in the last chance bar? What do you think your last chance is?
I hoped it was another chance for a beer.
And the question that somebody's got to ask you is not just where'd you go, but why? And the thing you've got to figure out is whether a bunch of your choices were bad intentions or just plain old vanilla stupid.
Bad or stupid?
Not easy. Not easy at all. I'll give you that. And I'll tell you this. There's people sitting in their rooms in hell right now because they'd rather think of themselves as bad than stupid. Free will is a heavy trip with you humans. Room's about ready, Jimbo.
Where is it?
Well, you can answer that question by answering this one.
Question?
Were you a bad man or a stupid one?
How about fun-loving? Could you just say I was fun-loving?
That wasn't the question. This is. Were you a bad man or a stupid one?
It's a trick question, Cowboy. That's a question like, when did you stop beating your wife? The moment you say anything, you're a wife beater.
Not quite. Think of it this way. The powers that be here don't especially like stupidity, but stupidity isn't something that gets punished. Bad is a different story. So, you can answer your own question about where your room is.
All I ever wanted was a little fun.
Ah!
Stop laughing at me. You were laughing that night I chased you.
All right. Just don't lose your pants again. I can't stand it. Fun loving. You think about it. You think hard. And you tell me the moment when you had the most fun.
That was when you and I were out, because you like to go so much. Forward motion. I think that's the other name for horse. Forward motion. And you'd light out and we'd fly. Run from the law.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. Run for the river. Run for the dickens of it. Run like nobody's business. You were a fast horse, Cowboy. I'd have bugs on my teeth from grinning so hard. You were a great horse.
I still am a great horse. Thanks. Now you think for a minute and tell me why that was so much fun.
Cause we were so connected. Cause it felt like being something other than just me when we'd go like that.
I thought so.
Nice, very nice.
Last chance, big boy. Last chance for last chance.
I'm stuck here, aren't I? No beer and a whole bunch of memories.
You're not stuck.
I've been thinking about that one winter, Cowboy. I had you in that little cabin all winter long. You were kind of a challenge as a roommate.
Like I had a choice.
You got your hind leg in barbed wire, tore a tendon.
I probably wouldn't have gotten hurt if you hadn't been off somewhere.
Bet said he was going to put you down. Said you wouldn't get over that. I said, you sew him up, I'll take care of him. And I brought you inside for that whole winter. It was a cold winter.
And you spent that winter shoveling manure and catching horse piss in a bucket. That was funny. I liked that part.
You could have doused a fire. I spent that winter changing the dressings on your legs so you didn't get infected, and getting you to walk a little so that tendon didn't go so stiff on you that you couldn't walk. Keeping you warm enough to be okay when you couldn't move around very well. I kept you, Cowboy.
You did.
Ah, Cowboy, I even got them to bring you to the parking lot of the jail one time, so I could just smell you, put my hands on you. I just needed that really bad. I stood there in that parking lot and almost cried just for smelling you. So it's you here, because you were the living thing I was most connected to.
That's a bingo.
Because I loved you better than anybody,
That's it.
and loving something obligates you to them.
Obligate. You humans really are an odd bunch. Sometimes, keeping an obligation is the greatest love you can ever find.
I loved you, Cowboy, still do. And loving you wasn't ever about changing you, making you something else. You were a horse.
So far, so good.
And you were gonna stay a horse. I'm sorry I just left you hanging.
I did okay. Think, Jimbo. Think.
I think it was pretty stupid of me not to know that stuff about
What?
being connected to something, and how that is love and everything. Jimbo, your room's ready. So this is it, huh? This way, please. Keep the best of me, Cowboy, what there was.
You got it. Jimbo.
Watch
Bye, Jimbo.